Yes, people, what's going on? TGL Talks Football, and let's have a moment of silence. That is for all the rivals crying their eyes out. That is for all the rivals having a moment of silence for all of them who can't handle the fact that Arsenal are so effing good. And shout out to everybody watching today's video. Do not forget today's title sponsor. The people who are supplying me with these beautiful jerseys is none other than OK Jersey. Check out the link is in the description, and let's get this show started the right way. Now, before we go any further, Gunner Souls, how you doing, bro? We just beat Crystal Palace 1-0. I'm so gassed. This is another great weekend. Now, in case people don't know what happened this weekend, let me lay it out for them before we get started and discuss the Arsenal game, because this is more than just the Arsenal game today. Today, we got to talk a little bit about the fact that all the people who are saying they're potential title rivals, Chelsea lost to Sunderland. You got Liverpool losing to Brentford. You have Aston Villa beating Manchester City at the same time as we beat Crystal Palace, taking Arsenal where in the table? Arsenal are now top of the Premier League with 22 points after 9 games, only dropping a whopping 5 points this entire season. Off a possible 27, we have 22, where Liverpool are sitting here languishing all the way in 6th, Chelsea in 9th, and Manchester City all the way in 4th. We are currently 7 points ahead of Liverpool, 6 points ahead of Manchester City, and 8 points ahead of Chelsea Football Club. All these clubs who have been speaking about Arsenal in a bad light, who have been saying they are in the discussion for the title race. And it looks like Arsenal currently are taking a good and comfortable lead to start the season. This is what we need, man. This is what we need. We need to just keep going, keep ticking away, keep going. And I am extremely excited. Now, before we bring it back to this game, let me just throw it over to Gunnar Souls. How you feeling, man? Great weekend. Another great weekend with a couple of great hate watches. Lovely to see. How you feeling?
Yeah, man, I think everything is lining up for it to be our year, but seeing all our rivals, especially the ones who say they're going to be in this title challenge, dropping points. And I think the best thing about this game was the fact that we didn't crumble under the pressure of the results of other games. Like I know they weren't going to know the Man City game, but knowing that Liverpool dropped points, knowing that Chelsea dropped points, and we still went to a tough fixture against Crystal Palace. Granted, it's at home, and we still beat them. And I think that's, for me, the signs of us turning our mentality around, and kind of what we want to see from the team is, can we capitalize when the title rivals are dropping points? And that's exactly what they've done without kind of going into the game and giving my thoughts on that. But in terms of the overall weekend, I think we're proving it once again that mentality isn't the thing that's going to stop us. It's going to be ourselves dropping and bottling it in a sense. But long may it continue, and let's keep going. It's one game at a time.
Let's keep going. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things we learned in today's game and some of the things that we've seen in today's game. Now, the first thing I'm going to speak about before we get to the goal, before we get to anything else, before we get to the set pieces, Gabriel Magalhaes did play. We originally were wondering if he was going to play. Gabriel did end up making it. He did end up starting, and he completed the 90 minutes. And I just want to say, I think Gabriel Magalhaes is amongst one of the best in the league at his position. And he has been performing like the best center-back since the beginning of the season. He's been better than Van Dijk, showing better than majority of other players across the league. I can't think of one player who's been better than Gabriel this season so far. Let me know what you think.
100%. And a lot of people, even last season, started to kind of turn their attention towards Gabriel, saying he's even better than William Saliba in terms of the kind of presence that he's had. Like, he's not a bozo anymore. Like, I remember when he first kind of came in, a lot of people said he's got that kind of gene, he's got a mistake in him. He has come, levels from when he joined. But I think the most impressive thing is he's doing it in both boxes. It's not a case of, he's scoring a lot of set pieces to mask for a lack of defending or lack of capabilities of defending, which a lot of defenders in the past have done, where they've scored a lot of goals or made up for the mistakes that they've made. But Gabriel in both boxes is colossal. And that's kind of where the impressive thing is, that he's not just doing it because he's made a mistake or he's the reason why we've conceded a goal. He's actually one of the key reasons to why we're even in the position we're in and why, you know, a lot of teams are fearing us. And that's why he stands above any other centre-back at the moment, not just because of his defensive capabilities, but to win games for us as well. And I know as a centre-back, that's not the metric that you maybe go with, but it also matters because defensively, no one can talk to him. Then you
Let me know, people in the chat. Name a centre back who's been performing better than Gabriel this season across Europe. Let me know. Name. I can't think of one.
No. I wouldn't even say Saliba. Like, I wouldn't even say Saliba's been close. No, like Gabriel's been in his own at the top. The only ones that maybe some could speak to is Raheem Saliba, but I think for me, Gabriel's been by far the best centre back in Europe at the moment.
Can anybody name a better centre back right now? I don't think that's possible. But hey, we'll see. That is the king. That is our number 6, the king of Brazil. Shout out to Gabriel Magalhaes. We're not even going to talk about the title race yet. We're going to talk about the game and we're going to break down the lineup. But before we do that, shout out to everybody who's watching. We got over 40 of you guys watching on Twitter. I mean, over 150 of you guys watching on Twitter and a bunch of 50 of you guys watching on YouTube. Please hit that like button. The algorithm has been shit lately, so I do need your support to continue to support the channel by hitting that goddamn like button. Before we get started with anything else, the lineup, I was shocked that Trossard started. I thought he was going to start Martinelli. I thought this would have been a good game for Martinelli to start. Were you taken back a little bit by Martinelli starting? Were you surprised by the lineup at all? This is the lineup right there. I did think Martinelli would have started this game off the back of his performances in Europe, but maybe he's just going to start the game versus Brighton in the League Cup. And he's going to need to, Gyökeres is going to need to get some revenge versus Brighton in the League Cup also. I might go to that game, actually. Talk to me, though. What do you think of the lineup?
I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. I think rotation is going to be key this season. I mean, even if you look at sort of the player interviews and these sort of Sky Sports shows or whatever you want to call them, you know, not post matches and stuff like that, but just whilst the games are being built up. Even Gabriel said it as well. We want to do special things this year. You know, when you look at the Rice interview, the Gyökeres interviews, Eze, when he kind of joined, the kinds of ambitions that the club have, we're going to have to start seeing it where Trossard will play the Premier League and Martinelli will play the Cups. And there's going to be certain players who come in, like Miles Lewis-Skelly might be the Cup player and Calafiori plays in the league. That's what, you know, the lineups are going to start to look like. There are patterns already emerging in terms of how Arteta's going to rotate. And when you look at that 11, I don't think it came as a shock. I thought Martinelli started against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and that's where the rotation's going to come. I think for me, the most impressive thing is the rotations that happen within the game. You know, Bukayo Saka coming off in the 66th minute, you know, it looks like we're managing his minutes as best we can to prevent him from being injured, which was a large criticism of Arteta, where even in a game like this, he'd be playing 90-plus minutes consistently, like he'd be 6-7 games where he hasn't even been benched or rotated or come off in a game. And, you know, well, we'll see about what happened with Saliba, but yeah, I'm not surprised by the lineups. I'm not surprised by who's come off and who's been rotated, because even someone like Eze, for example, isn't used to playing 2 or 3 games a week. And you can kind of tell that in this game, even though he did score the winning goal, there were moments of sloppiness and stuff like that, but that's going to happen. I think, look, Arteta's getting it right. He's starting the players he trusts and he's sticking to his system, which is what we want to see, and he's keeping it consistent. So it's good to see.
People in the chat, let me know what you guys think about the lineup. What would you have changed? Regardless, it gets us to 3 points. So does it even matter anymore? Before we go to the goal scorer, was there any cause for concern before we scored the goal? Because I felt like there was a little bit of a shaky start. We did have a little bit of a shaky start, Gunnar Souls. I did feel like a little bit of tension and just they are a good team. Crystal Palace, don't forget, they are a really good team. And they gave us, I felt like they were always one pass away from being at our goal. And it was a shaky start. We weathered the storm. Is that just because Palace are such a good team, or do we need to be a little bit more polished? Because we're so good defensively. For God's sake, Souls, we've conceded 3 goals all season in every competition.
Yeah, no, I think today was a sloppy game, especially the first half. Anyway, even if you look at someone like Zubimendi, who's a lot more controlled with the ball, who's a lot more kind of recycled and safe when it comes to it, but he does take a risky pass when he needs to. Even when you look at Eze, the amount of times he kind of gave the ball away, it wasn't an easy game, and we weren't expecting it to be because number one, Palace lost midweek, and they wanted to kind of like get back into their best form. They've gone, what was it, like 15 to 17 games unbeaten, and then obviously the Everton game happened when they had their first loss in like 15, 16 games or something. So they have been kind of in a slump, and they wanted to kind of, the best way to do it is come to the Emirates and beat them. If you can beat Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, especially in the form that we've been on, that's the rejuvenation that they're looking for. So they were trying to beat us to every first ball, every second duel. Like, they were trying to press us hard to commit us into mistakes. And we did make mistakes, and they did. Like, Sarr had an opportunity, I think, early on. Pino had a few opportunities. Mateta could have gone through. But at the same time, look, despite those sloppy moments, we still overcame. And it was going to be a game where, for me, that's kind of what I expected, because I don't expect Crystal Palace to not do anything. They've done it against Liverpool. They do it against Man City. They do it against some of the best teams across the Premier League. So I'm not that concerned. Yes, there were a few sloppy moments. Yes, we could have been a bit more like controlled and have a bit more possession and be a bit more safe with the ball. But we tried to take risks. And I think the best thing about it was we played in a way to try and get the best out of Gyökeres. I don't know if you've seen that as well, where Saliba first time pass, Zubimendi played it over the top, Gabriel did it once as well. I think Raya also played it over the top. There was a few moments where we tried to get Gyökeres to run one-on-one with the keeper. It didn't kind of fall into place today, but there's a lot more kind of different dynamics that we're starting to see, which is kind of exciting. But that does then mean the opposition may look better, but that's by design.
All right, let's get on to the next part of the video, which is the set piece threat and the goal. First, let's talk about the goal scorer. EBERECHI as a unorthodox finish, fixes his body and in the air, puts it into the net. What would you say? What is that? A volley? What would you call that? I'm not even sure.
Half volley, yeah.
Half volley, whatever you want to call it. He basically just puts it in the back of the net off the back of a set piece. We'll save the set piece portion of it. Just EBERECHI as he's scoring against his old team to get his first Premier League goal for Arsenal. It is a little bit destined for him to score in this game. I feel like for him to be the match winner in this game, it is a little bit of destiny. And shout out to EBERECHI for getting us the goal.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Finally it's us that are taking, remember how like when we used to come across a team where we've sold them a player, every time we would concede against that player, whether it was Van Persie, whether it was Nasri, whether any of those sort of players would always come back and score against us, even the shit ones. And finally, it's our turn to start scoring. Like our players, like Rice scores against West Ham all the time. Now Eze scored against Crystal Palace. We'll see if that becomes a routine pattern or not. But it's finally our turn to kind of get our players to score against their former clubs. And the finish was superb. This is why we signed Eze, because he creates these sort of opportunities. Like, he can score from these sort of weird opportunities that we don't have from other players. Like, Odegaard isn't finishing that. Like, if that drops for Rice, that ain't going in. So that's what we bought Eze for, these unorthodox finishes that you kind of just go, okay, that's a great finish. That's what Eze is primed for, his shooting ability, his way of just, even if you look at it at Crystal Palace, the kind of where he positions himself in case the ball does bounce out of a set piece, and that's kind of exactly where he was. So, look, it was a magnificent finish.
Yeah, shout out to him. We got somebody sending in the super chat. Shout out to my guy, Ilmatis in the building. He says, what do you call it? Gyökeres was terrible. He needs to step up. Yeah, Gyökeres did not have the best of games. I thought he was doing okay to start the game with his build-up. I seen there was one run where he ran from the midfield to get the ball and push forward. It's just that final end product for Gyökeres has been not present. And also, he didn't have the vision to find Trossard when Trossard was wide open, I felt. You must have seen that moment there.
Yeah, I think that's going to come with the desperation of kind of scoring a goal. He's not obviously had the best of runs in the Premier League. I know he scored 2 midweek, and he might be feeling himself a little bit in terms of just the confidence is coming back. But for me, there were things he done well. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like he had a terrible game, but for what people wanted Gyökeres to be, he hasn't been that. Everything that you can praise him is what I've said about Kai Havertz and what I've praised about Kai Havertz. So for a lot of people to say that wasn't good enough, you have to then sit there and go, Gyökeres hasn't been good enough either. Because you can't then have a different energy just because you want Gyökeres to work. And that's why, like, I'll keep the consistency and go, do you know what? Everything else other than the goal scoring has been there. He's pressing well. He's trying to build up. He's trying to get other players involved. But the only thing that's not going for him is I think he's too slow. And also his lack of goals, really. And that's kind of, I'm going to hold off on any sort of actual opinions of whether I think he'll be a success or whether he'll be a failure. But early signs, I'm not seeing anything different to what we already had. And that's kind of where I think a lot of people's concerns are coming in, because they were sold the idea of him being a gunman, a guy that can score a bunch of goals, obviously scoring 100 goals in 2 seasons or something along them lines. You're kind of expecting him to come in and do similar, not at that scale, but not as bad as we've seen. But let's see what happens in the future.
Is there any major issue with Gyökeres, or is it just he needs to gain confidence? What is it specifically?
It could be time. It could be the fact that the players aren't used to having a striker. It could be, I mean, it could be anything really, but we won't know until, like, let's say Havertz is back and he starts getting rotated and he still looks shit. Then you can't blame the minutes. You can't blame the fact that he's had 90 minutes upon 90 minutes. But it could be that. But I really don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't watch him intensely at Sporting, but going off of what a lot of people said, it's not the player I'm seeing.
So we won the game. Nobody wants to be negative. We're just asking, what are your thoughts on Gyökeres? Let me know in the comment section. Personally, for me, I feel like it's kind of like people don't want to talk about it. Yeah. He scored 3 goals in 8 games in the league. Obviously, it's not the return that we expected, but still, we're still getting results. It's not like it's holding us back. So I'm not even look at Saka. Nobody's going to sit here and cuss Saka because Saka hasn't scored or assisted to the same level as he used to in the past. But
no, but it's different though. The Saka's performances have been good.
I thought Gyökeres is getting better.
We'll see. But you can't say okay, but I can maybe listen
to Havertz. I'm not one of these people. I wasn't one of these people who cussed Havertz.
I can. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can take it from someone like you, but I can't take it from people who criticize Havertz, saying what Havertz is doing isn't enough. We need a gunman. If you sat in that camp, which I know who they are, then I'm not going to listen to it, because I'm going to be like, well, you complained about Havertz doing exactly this, so you can't then praise another player just because he's doing that. So, but anyways, I don't want it to turn into kind of a Gyökeres haze fest. Like, I'm just reserving my judgment on him. I'm going to see what he does.
We'll save it. Set pieces. 11 set pieces. Just simply elite. We are unbelievable at set pieces. Gunner Souls, we are in a different level. When it comes to Arsenal set pieces, the amount of set pieces we have scored 11 set pieces, 9 from corners, 2 penalties.
I mean, the thing is, they keep saying it's unsustainable, but try and stop it. No one stopped it yet. So until you do, I ain't hearing it. Because every single game, we're going to score a set piece, whether you like it, whether you don't. We're just going to keep doing it because it's just fun. And if you want to cry about it, keep crying about it. I don't care. It was another set piece today, and guess what that meant? 3 points. You don't get 1 because you won by a set piece. You don't lose points because you won by a set piece. You get 3. So just win at all costs. I don't care how we do it. Throw the ball and header it in. Do what Bournemouth did today and score from a direct corner. I don't care how as long as the ball is going in the back of the net more than the opposition, I couldn't care less how they go in. Even if David Raya takes a goal kick and scores, I still don't care. I'm taking any goal I can get.
Hey, set pieces are our great equalizer. People are saying we're overly reliant on them. Well, if teams could actually get at our goal, then maybe we wouldn't be overly reliant on them. Maybe then we'll need to score more goals. But the reality is Palace is a good team. And today I felt like they were a little blunt. They could have done more. They could have scored more goals. Mateta couldn't really repeat his heroics of last week. I looked around. None of their players really gave us any major threat. They had 1 shot. That's the first shot we had on target since Newcastle, bro. Our defense is just too good. For people to complain about us scoring set pieces, if we had to score 3-4 goals like Liverpool do, then maybe people can criticize our attack. But the fact that our defense is so good, you can't really make fun of our attack.
Yeah,
but this comment right here, we need to talk about it quickly. Saliba's injury. I don't think he's injured. I think it was just a precaution. I don't see anywhere where it says Saliba has a long-term injury or anything like that. Just says that Saliba exited the game at halftime due to an injury. No update yet. Saliba exited the game. Yet another injury concern that Arteta has to deal with. Mosquera came on. I don't think there has been any major update on what the injury is or how he sustained the injury at this moment in time. We don't have any information. But this isn't there another international break coming up?
Yeah, in November.
So maybe it's just maybe we're just already getting prepared for that. I don't know. Wishful thinking.
But the thing is, everything that we're hearing as it currently stands is a precaution. So I'm not going to sit here and worry about it until something comes out. But even if he is injured, not that I want my players to be injured, we've got Mosquera, we've got Hincampi, we've got a few other centre backs who can come in and play there. So I'm not as worried as we used to be, where Saliba's gone, oh shit, we're going to start losing games now. Like Mosquera, even today, didn't have much to deal with. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously I don't want to start panicking that, oh, Saliba's going to be out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then we find out that he's actually available for the next game. It's the same with the Gabriel stuff yesterday, where everyone was like, Gabriel's out for the game this weekend, but ended up playing the full 90. So I'm not going to complain. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on yet.
David Raya and the whole Arsenal defense is so good that he really doesn't have to do much. Could he break the 15 clean sheet record? I know you only care about winning the league, but this is being discussed because they're saying Arsenal's defense is so good. David Raya already, do you know how many clean sheets he has already? 6. 6 clean sheets in 9 games.
Yeah, but we're yet to concede in the Champions League as well. You know how crazy.
So you're telling me we only conceded 1 goal in each of those games? Crazy.
Yeah. Newcastle won, and then Liverpool won, and that's it. I don't think we've conceded in any other game yet.
84% save percentage for. Oh my God! What is the record? How many clean sheets did Raya have last year, bro? Raya is almost.
Wasn't it?
Raya is almost. Raya's almost at his halfway towards his clean sheet record.
What was it? 13 last season.
13 last season. 15 is the Premier League record.
He could do it. I mean, we just
the thing is, it's just becoming a norm. It's just becoming a norm.
But here's the thing, though. A lot of people are going to sit there and go, well, it's because of Gabriel and Saliba. Saliba's been injured as well, and we had to play Cristhian Mosquera for a few games, and we still kept clean sheets. So it's not a case of like just it being Saliba and Gabriel, and that's the only way we keep clean sheets. Mosquera played a whole half today, and they still couldn't score, and didn't look like they were going to get any closer to scoring. So it's not just that. Like, we've rotated our back line today, well, in the second half anyway, and we still look solid. So I've got no concerns. I think we can do it, but it's not really my priority.
Arsenal are firm title favorites. That's the final topic of today's video before we go on to doing the player ratings. We are 100% title favorites. I expect us to go on to win it, hopefully, but we take it game by game. And at this moment in time, we have a comfortable lead. There's nothing more to be really said. What do we need to say? Man City just lost. Arsenal are clear favorites. Undoubtable that we are the clear favorites for the first time since 2003, 2004. There doesn't seem to be as much competition based on how good we have been.
Yeah, I mean, with the way Liverpool have gone, what is it now, 4 losses in a row, Man City losing as well, but they don't look convincing even when they do win. So it's quite an interesting one, actually, when you kind of think about the form table. Sunderland and United look better than Liverpool and City at the moment. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, at this moment in time, other than Arsenal, obviously excluding ourselves, United and Sunderland look like a bigger threat in terms of performances alone than the majority of the people who should have been in it. But
talk to me, bro. All right, let's get to the player. Let's get to the player ratings. Sorry to cut you off, but
so good.
we are moving quick today. Player ratings. People in the chat, you guys can play along with us. Let me know your player ratings by putting your player ratings in the chat yourselves. Just say your player ratings. Player rating. What are you starting with, Raya?
Raya 7. He didn't have anything to do, so I'm just gonna go 7, like a standard rating.
You know what? Since he had nothing to do, and he made one save.
Whatever the standard is, 6, 7. I don't care. Like, he didn't have anything to
Give him
do.
7. No. Just give him 8. He doesn't have nothing to do. But he had a good game. So 7. Yeah, 7. Fair. So 8 is good. 8 is a good game. Saliba came out at halftime, so I'm not gonna rate him high. I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, he had nothing to do again. Like
Timber, Calafiori, and Gabriel all get 7.5s. Actually, I'll give Gabriel
I'm gonna give Timber an 8 as well. I thought he was superb today.
The magician. Him and Trossard were making
crazy.
Crystal Palace look silly. Zubamendi, he is so good in the air. I'm surprised every time I see him win headers. He's winning headers against some of the tallest people. I seen him win a header versus Dan Burns at Newcastle. His aerial duels, 3 for 4 aerial duels.
Hey, in La Liga, he's got like one of the highest duel wins.
He has a higher duel win than Van Dijk.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said,
unbelievable.
But yeah, I'd say today he was a bit sloppy, so I'm going to give him a 6.
Declan Rice, 7.7, 7.5.
I'll go 7 because he put the delivery in for the set piece. But he was
Did Declan Rice get injured? What happened with that?
We don't know. Again, we won't know. Like, it looks like it could be an injury because he was getting treated by the medics. But again, we won't know until after the game.
I think we're just being super safe. Hopefully it's nothing. I'll give him a 7.5. Solid 7.5. Eze, 8 for his goal. Saka and Trossard both get 6.5s. Not really good performances. And then,
I can agree with that.
And then Gyökeres gets a 6.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
As for Mosquera, Gabriel, do we really give them anything? Didn't see too much to give them a higher rating.
I think the subs didn't have much to do. The game was kind of dead and buried. It's hard to rate them, so just standard 6s, I think, or whatever you want to give them.
Yeah, and then finally, that's it. Arteta's going to get an 8 out of 10. Solid performance from him.
I'm going to give him a 9. I thought his rotations were brilliant. He bought Saka off early. Obviously, whatever happened with Saliba, but he bought him off rather than risking him like he has done previously. Rice, yes, so I'm going to say the rotations have been good. So I'm going to go 9 today.
9? Wow.
Because the thing is, though, we won, but his in-game management in terms of managing player minutes has been superb. So I'm going to give him a higher rating for that.
Arsenal are title favorites. Liverpool are in crisis. It's crazy. Chelsea got humbled by Sunderland, and I can't believe it. Manchester City lost. Can you believe that?
It's not that surprising because it is just Haaland FC. If Haaland doesn't do anything, they ain't doing anything.
Hey, they told me they have Reinders, Cherky. Did those guys play today?
I think they did, but I don't think they're doing much.
The Liverpool crisis.
I'll be honest, like I had it on the side. I wasn't really watching it. It was
Liverpool
like that
crisis is the funniest thing about today is Liverpool in crisis, Man City lost, and Arsenal win their game 1-0 from a set piece. I really do think if I go online right now, I'm just going to see people crying. I seen a Spurs fan say he can't live in a world that Arsenal win the league, as if he's going to do something to himself because Arsenal potentially will win the league. It's not that serious. We've always
been better, man. You've always been in our shadows. Like, come on now, it's not that deep for you, man.
Yeah,
and also you're the last people I want to banter with. You're not even first on my list of look us, man, we won the Premier League. Spurs. I couldn't give a fuck. You man are irrelevant, man.
Bro, yeah, we got Man City fans. I mean, we got Liverpool fans turning into Man City fans again. That's how deep it is.
Bro, they're all transferring, man. They're all like hoes. They're just changing teams. First, they rooted for Liverpool. Liverpool's dropped the bomb. They started supporting City. Now City are dropping the bomb. Just keep supporting the rivals, man.
Because it's just going to help us out.
They're going to go to United or Sunderland, and then, we'll keep seeing
the moment these guys start shamelessly needing United to beat us, that's when it's like, You know
Yeah.
what? Funny enough, United gave us a tougher test than majority of the teams we played this season.
But United now, it looks like a massive win. Have you seen their form at home? And I've said this as well. I go, that 1-0 win could become a massive win because of their form going in Old Trafford. And it's looking
I
that
did
way.
tweet that. I did tweet that after the Liverpool game. I'm like, that win versus United doesn't look so bad now, because people are making it seem like it was shameful that we beat them 1-0. Like, what are we doing?
We don't win there. We haven't been doing great anyway. So for us to even win is a great thing.
110%. But you know what? People have agendas. People don't want to hear difference of opinion on certain things. And the real thing is the Arsenal derangement syndrome is so real. The Arsenal derangement syndrome is a real thing, and people are really just not going to change their mind on Arsenal. It's just a weird phenomenon. It's a weird phenomenon. Anyways, I'll let you go, man. You have a good day. I'll catch you on the next one. Love for the love, and everybody who's watching. Shout out to you guys also. Big up to all the people on Twitter. We got over 600 people on Twitter. Please do follow me on Twitter, and of course, check out my YouTube channel. And everyone on YouTube, please do check out Vibes from the 6 later today at 7 o'clock. That's it for now. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love for the love. We're out of here. Peace.